Good morning. We'll tease you, we'll unease you, all the better just to please you, because it's another big day on the WGN Morning News at 9. Today, the old number 9 turns 70. Come along for the ride as we share some of the greatest WGN moments. And it's the White Sox home opener. We're ushering the 2018 season in on the south side of the old ball yard. Live from the WGN studios and Guaranteed Rate Field, this is the WGN Morning News at 9.
Ooh.
Skip, boy.
This has been a little dicey, you know. It's a little haphazard today,
right.
you know, and people are a little...
This is not going to go in the archive for the 80th anniversary show. I'm quite sure about that.
There's still an hour left, Larry.
All right. Let's see. I know this is going to be something special for the 9. We have a bunch of iconic clips
because of our 70th anniversary today.
Awesome.
So let's start with the 9 at 9. And I'm sure you've heard 70th birthday.
Yeah.
Let's take a look to celebrate the old number 9.
1948. The place, the WGN radio studios at Tribune Tower. The event, a gala 2-hour premiere, the first official telecast for WGN Channel 9. This event was relayed through a mobile video unit called the Blue Goose to WGN's antenna atop the Daily News building on West Madison. It was a first in more ways than one.
All the crew at that time were brand new, inexperienced. They didn't know what end of the tripod to set the camera on because we were hiring people so quickly, and we'd hire them if a guy had some radio experience in his basement, why we'd hire him and we'd say, "You're an engineer."
We didn't have enough light in the tests in our rehearsals in order to make the performers or whoever's doing what stand out. I had been a still photographer, and I had a bunch of my own personal lights at home, and we sent a cab to my house and brought back about 7 or 8 lights, and we were able to light the small set.
It was a learning experience, but everything seemed to work. Chicagoland Newsreel hit the air at 2 the following afternoon. That was the start of WGN Television's first full day of programming. Also included on that day's program log were a kids show called Wonder House, several hours of the always exciting Test Pattern, and a homemaker show with Barbara Barkley produced at the Goldblatt store on State Street.
All right, let's stop talking about cooking and start talking about cleaning up. Ordinarily, that's not a very pleasant subject. But with Magic SOS cleansing pads, it's fun now, and we can keep all of our kitchen utensils just gleaming.
That does sound...
That was from the 40th anniversary show hosted by Geraldo Rivera.
Seems like nothing has changed here, right? Like, let's call a guy up. We were short on lights. Let's see if we can get this house and grab something.
A lot of test patterns still. All right.
Number 8, after hiring a bunch of radio engineers to produce television, WGN quickly started broadcasting Cubs games. Jack Brickhouse led the charge in those early days, and later Harry Carey. We also found some of the best 7th-inning stretch performers through the years. Here they are.
Well, once again, welcome to the 10th inning program back here at Candlestick Park, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jack Brickhouse. The Cubs just won a thriller. It certainly didn't thrill this fellow sitting with me because this is Bob Lurie, who's the new majority owner of the San Francisco Giants.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fabled Wrigley Field, where Babe Ruth called his home run, where Gabby Hartnett hit the homer in the gloaming. Rogers, Hornsby, Honus Wagner, and Grover Cleveland Alexander played here. Sandy Koufax pitched a perfect game, and Milt Pappas, Sam Jones, and Don Cardwell pitched no-hitters. WGN Television carries more televised baseball games than any other station in the world, 150 season after season. The Cub fans are fans because they know they can cheer their team on in almost every game. And they know they'll see all the action with the production expertise of the nation's most experienced baseball television crew.
Jarvis fires away. That's a fly ball deep to left. Back. That's it. Hey! He did it. Ernie Banks got number 500.
This is the last time this year. So let me hear you. Good and loud. All right, Gary. 1. 2. 3. Me out to the ball game. Me out with the crowd. All these happy days like that, Jackson. I don't remember where I am. 6-1.
Go.
Yeah.
You've been watching the 10th inning show. The Cubs won the first game 6-5 in 14 innings. Game 2 coming up. I'm Jack Brickhouse. This has been a WGN Television 9
Very
sports
nice.
presentation.
You'll see lots of stuff on the Cubs and Sox and that 70th anniversary special tonight at 8 o'clock. We're just running through some of the highlights. Number 7 in our 9 at 9. We've been clowning around on the morning. Do we call it clowning around?
Clowning, tomfoolery.
Yeah.
But this, you know, is the house that Bozo built. Back in 1978, there was a big celebration here at the old number 9, and our very own Muriel Claire filed this report for Nightbeat.
From Chicago, the 17th anniversary celebration for Bozo Circus is on the air.
Today marked the 17th year of Bozo Circus. Emanating live from the WGN studios 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, the show is so popular there's a 7-year wait for audience tickets. Every kid loves Bozo, even the grown-up types. They like his sidekicks too, Cookie the Clown, Frazier Thomas, Garfield Goose, and Tommy Fitzsimmons and his Big Top Band. Each show is a surprise. Take today's special birthday show, for instance. Chicago's Mayor Belandic was a guest. Thinking 7 years ahead, the mayor put his bid in for tickets for his unborn child.
You have a paper with you here.
Yes, well,
Beautiful frame.
Well, on behalf of all of the citizens of the city of Chicago, we want to proclaim this a very important day, just like the 4th of July, Christmas, Mother's Day. Today is Bozo Day in the city of Chicago.
Hey, it's Bozo Day in Chicago.
Nationally known talk show host Phil Donahue also stopped by and narrowly missed getting hit in the face with a whipped cream pie. This kind of antic turns the mischievous Bozo on, but Bob Bell, the man behind the Bozo character, would never go for anything like that.
Bozo 24 hours would be a tough job for anybody. First of all, it wouldn't be me, because I'm quite the opposite of the Bozo that you see. In my private life, I'm a relatively quiet person, with, I hope, a good sense of humor. But when I leave the circus, I don't take it home.
To the thousands of kids who watch and wait for him daily, that he be Bozo is the only important thing. Muriel Claire, News 9.
Muriel Claire, that was great. My gosh, I've never seen that.
Number 6, he just missed a pie in the face in the last story. In 1974, Phil Donahue brought his talk show to Chicago. He taped the show here at WGN until the early 80s. Here's a commercial he shot for the old number 9 back in 1979.
On Channel 9 this fall. Great new shows like The Palace.
I said I love you, and that's forever. This I promise from my heart.
Grizzly Adams.
What do you reckon that is? Looks like that lightning started the fire.
Get on, Ben!
And the Thriller movies. Channel 9 this fall. If you're for great entertainment, then we're for you.
Wow.
Very cool.
You got to bring some of that back.
Yeah.
Was he sitting in the WGN jungle?
Yes, he was. Which is now the WGN Fun Room, which is over on the side.
All right, number 5. In 1983, WGN adopted its promotional identity, becoming Chicago's very own. This is a commercial that aired right around that time.
Sunrise to sunset and times in between. We're bringing home the world to you. And when it's time to lay back, oh, what a good friend. WGN, we're bringing it home to you. Home to you now. In all that we say and do, we're bringing it home. Round the globe, anywhere that there's news, we're right there. Any place, anytime, all the news, it's on 9. WGN.
Boy, I think that was up with people.
I was very happy.
It was awesome. I almost felt good watching it.
It did. We've got to get like Richard Marx to create a new kind of sappy,
We need a new
happy.
song for this show.
We're not going to spend money. Just rerun that thing.
That's right.
Nice.
The people, I'm sure, are the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Oh my
this.
gosh. Number 4, on November 22nd, 1987, one of the greatest gags of all time played out right here on Channel 9, the Max Headroom broadcast hijack incident. They still don't know who invaded our airwaves on that day, but this is an abbreviated version of a report that WGN Julie Unruh did late last year.
Live from Chicago's very own.
This is Chicago's Midday News.
This is the 9 o'clock news.
Chicago's very own, a hometown classic with a slower pace and mom and pop appeal back in the 80s. Why should this Sunday night newscast in 1987 be any different than any other night? WGN sports anchor Dan Roan was getting into Bears highlights when all of a sudden, at 9:14 p.m., his studio monitor went black, and so did TVs at home. Then this. It went on for 25 long and painful seconds until engineers working that night could switch the microwave path back to local programming.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I.
That was Roan's reaction back then. His reaction 30 years later?
Looking back at the video today, I'm struck mostly by how much hair I had back then.
That is probably the most shocking part of all. Yeah.
Love that Dan Roan. It's good stuff.
Good.
We are going to pause the 9 at 9 right here, but don't you worry. We'll count down the top 3 coming up at 9.
Yeah, this has actually been
This is actually very entertaining.
Yeah.
I might stick around till then. First, we want to continue our special 9 at 9 countdown. We've been honoring the station's 70th birthday, which is today, and we've got this big 70th anniversary special airing tonight at 8 o'clock. So here's some highlights.
Yeah, we're down to number 3. He needs no introduction. Tom freaking Skilling sat down with one of our morning show producers to talk about his 40 years here at WGN. This is a morning show exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look.
Tom Skilling joins WGN, becomes a member of the News 9 team.
Jack, it's indeed a pleasure to work with such a group of professionals here at WGN and in one of the most exciting weather markets probably in the whole United States.
The way you were introduced to the audience was you were sent out to the ballpark with Jack Brickhouse, or you appeared on Ray Rayner's show.
Reggie Marplot is at large. He's footloose and fancy-free.
So Ray is on there doing the morning show, and the stagehands are screaming insults at him all through the show. And he's responding to them as far as he could. There were certain things he couldn't say. But I thought, well, so this is the big time, huh? You know, this is what goes on.
It's a cold day. Temperatures only in the last hour or two have started to fall here in Chicago.
When I came here in 1978, we were still using plexiglass boards. We had limited chroma key capability. You had no rear screen projection capability as it was set up here. So there'd be a stagehand who would clean off the boards, and I had an artist left over from Harry Volkmann's era who would paint the maps. And we had a local map, a regional map, and a national map.
But that's really about the only travel problem around the Midwest tonight. That's a quick check of the weather. Again, Happy New Year to you, and we'll see you tonight on the 9 o'clock news.
Here on top of the Sears Tower, the days are actually a little bit longer. No kidding. The sun rises a little bit earlier and sets a little bit later. Plus, the winds are stronger, and obviously the temperatures are colder. The weather is entirely different here a quarter mile above the streets of Chicago.
Well, I know summer's here, Al, because you have your fishing hat on.
Too humid.
Too humid.
Too humid. Do something about it immediately.
The 50 years in which I've worked in broadcasting the weather, we've come farther in the last 50 years than we had in all the time back to Aristotle at 340 BC when he wrote the treatise that started the whole thing called Meteorologica. This television station has one of the most unique relationships with its viewership of any television station in America.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul.
I mean, there really is a connection between Chicago. We are Chicago's very own. This isn't just a cute phrase.
What's your tune?
Yeah?
You dance, Dan? Dance with me.
Our focus is local here. We don't have somebody in New York telling us how to run this television station. So this is really a unique broadcast entity. And of course, the morning show is an absolute broadcast phenomenon. I mean, you guys in the morning wipe out the network competition day in and day out. You know, it's really extraordinary, and that's a testament to this station. I hear about the morning show everywhere I go. You know, it's just people love it.
What's going on? I can't find the 7-day forecast. What's the humidity? And where the devil is the weather clicker?
7-day forecast, 40%, and the weather clicker is in your hand.
So it's a fun place to work. It really is. I probably ramble. I'm not a good soundbite person, am I? I'll tell you, I know. It's just.
Oh, that's a clip.
He is a great guy.
And one of the few times you'll see Paul Conrad dancing.
Yeah, or in the same room with Skilling.
That is great. Okay, number 2, things were a little different here when the morning show kicked off more than 20 years ago. Larry was here on the anchor desk. I was up in Skycam 9 about 6 months after we started, but well, Paul had a full head of hair. Take a look. Oh my.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Larry Potash. Still tired? Maybe your dreams are keeping you from a good night's sleep. We'll talk with an expert.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Robin Baumgarten with traffic. You sprinkle a little snow on the morning rush hour, and this is what you get, a big mess. I'll have details about where the problems are coming up.
Live from Chicago's very own Larry Potash, Sonia Gant, Joni Lum, Bill Weir, Roseanne Tellez, Paul Huttner, and Robin Baumgarten. This is WGN Morning News.
Sugar gliders are here.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw one.
They kind of
fly. They'll fly right through the studio.
Hello to Tracy Guyton, who's a huge fan of the show, along with Symphony.
This is turning into the Paul Conrad shout-out show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I ran into a lot of people. I still have like 6 families to go, so thank goodness it's a 3-hour show.
I'd like to say hi to Joey in Bolingbrook. I'd like to say hi to Teresa in Mount Prospect.
You read my list already.
Yeah.
So happy birthday again, Graham. Okay, you're welcome. Remember, no swearing. We're on the air.
Oh, shit, is that Pat Thompson? What's up, my man?
Can I get a dog with the work?
Sure. It's on the house.
Oh, thank you so much.
Come back and get my...
Camera out of here before I shut up.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and switch.
Oh, you don't even remember this.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good.
You know, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it's beautiful, it's colorful, it's whimsical. One of you needs to cut your toenails.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Conrad. 1, 2, 3.
I don't want to play football. I don't understand the rules of the game.
There you go. Very good. Very good.
Plus, a man is going to jump across the river, and the amazing Zucchini Brothers coming up in just a little bit.
Dean, you are so hot. If I could just get in a time machine and go back to that very moment when you took that picture, I'll be your wife right now.
I'm kind of territorial about this spot. Let me just say this, Jeff. I know you're a big star, but you picked the wrong guy to mess with. I'll tell you that right now.
The amazing Zucchini Brothers, who have one final stunt. This is the grand finale. This is the Wagon of Death. This is exclusive. You'll only see this right here on WGN. Here we go. Wow. So that's...
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, that's better.
Isn't that nice?
But your gut is sticking out.
This is my impression of a pregnant woman.
It looks like you're sitting in my parents' basement. I just want to make sure that's not my parents' basement with the fake tree behind you and the bamboo blinds.
It is your parents' basement.
Hey, Barack Obama, holler at me, homie. I gave you like $15.
WGN Morning News. Dedicated, determined, duh.
I don't remember.
I don't remember most of that.
Why are you grinning like a sailor.
I don't know. Must have had a bad day. You're allowed one every 20-some years.
I don't remember that at all.
All right. Wow. I'm glad I kept those VHS tapes.
Is that what those are?
Yeah. Finally, number one, WGN entertained you, and that was the hook in this fantastic promo from the early 80s.
WGN entertains you. Family fun.
Oh, wow.
Watch and see what's new. We're bringing it all to you. Laughs, movies, sports, news. WGN entertains you. WGN and you.
That's the old test pattern. I think I saw Barney Miller wearing a Channel 9 shirt.
Wow.
How about that?
That is
Man.
pretty impressive.
Almost
All
makes
right.
this place look fun
Yeah.
to work, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Big show tonight at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
That's great.